Part 3 of The Divine Companion by James Allen. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Section 3. Instructions. Instruction concerning the Master. To the obedient and the ready, to all who are willing to understand, to those wandering in the darkness and unable to perceive the light, come now and listen, come now and be made glad, enter now into the revelation of purity. The Master is not perceived by the senses, nor comprehended by the reason, nor realized by argument. Not on the hills, nor in the valleys, not in the earth, nor sky, not in any outward thing is the Master to be found. Creeds and schools and books cannot contain him. He dwelleth within. Cease from thine outward search, O weary one. Cease from thy wanderings, O child of night. In thine own heart dwelleth the Master. He is not hidden from thee, but by thyself. The Master is the inward voice, the inward light, the inward peace. Behold, I show you the dwelling place of the Master. It is a purified heart. He who hath broken the bonds of self, who hath slain desire, whose mind is quiet, conquered, and subdued, whose heart is calm and mild and full of peace, he hath entered into the presence of the Master. Unto him the glory of the Master is revealed. O thou who criest and receivest no answer! O thou who wanderest and findest no rest! O thou who searchest and findest no light! Bring hither thy fainting heart, bring hither thy blindness, come and listen to the instruction that is holy, and having listened, find satisfaction and rest. There are truths many, and there is one truth, even the pure mind, the supremely perfect life. There are saviours many, and there is one Saviour, even the supreme enlightenment of wisdom. There are teachers many, and there is one Teacher, even the glorious revelation of righteousness. There are masters many, and there is one Master, even the Spirit of Truth. And Truth, Saviour, Teacher, and Master are one. Plain and unmistakable is the way which leadeth to the Master. Overcome thyself, this is the way. Purify thy heart, and thou shalt gaze upon the face of the Master. Cling to self, and thou shalt not find him. Abandon self, and lo! the Master abideth with thee. The impure have no eyes to see the pure, the darkness cannot penetrate the light, and immortality is hidden from that which is perishable. Therefore leave that to which thou clingest. Yield up thy desires, and the satisfaction of the Master shall fill thee. Yield up thy opinions, and the light of the Master shall illumine thee. Go not after the evanescent and the perishable, and thou shalt enter into the possession of the eternal and imperishable. Thou shalt become one with the Master, and shalt dwell with him in immortality. The Master waiteth, yea, eternally waiteth. Patience is his name. He departeth not from compassion, and where righteousness abides, there dwelleth he. Hidden is he in love. Come unto love, and thou shalt find him. The light of wisdom envelopeth him. Purify thine understanding, and thou shalt know him. The glory of truth covereth him up. Relinquish self, and thou shalt see his form. Why perceivest thou not the truth? Why hearest thou not the voice of the Master? Thou perceivest not the truth because of thine own errors. Thou hearest not the Master's voice, because the voices of self clamour loudly within thee. As clouds hide the face of the sun, so the clouds of error hide the face of the Master. Yea, the thick clouds of sin, they shut him out from men. Who then shall see the Master? Who shall comprehend him? Who shall dwell with him? Who shall hear his voice? Even he who is of a pure heart, who is gentle, compassionate, and infinitely patient, who returneth meekness for anger, love for hatred, forgiveness for abuse, and silence for condemnation. Clothe thyself therefore in the garment of humility, acknowledge thine errors, even thine inmost sins, thus confessing thyself, thou shalt find the way of love, and finding love, thou shalt find the Master, and finding the Master, thou shalt be at rest. Deny thyself, subdue thyself, conquer thyself. Let not goodwill depart from thee. Be at peace with all, yea, even with the beasts, so shall the highest truth take up its abode within thee. Unto thee the heart of the Master shall be revealed. Sorrow and suffering and fear and doubt shall flee far from thee, and the knowledge of immortality shall fill thy heart with peace. Thus is the heart of the Master made known, thus is he revealed unto them that are ready to receive him. Instruction concerning the Law. To the humble and the faithful, to them that are seeking humility and faith, there is one supreme law, even the law of good. Think not that which is evil, say not that which is evil, do not that which is evil, think that which is good, say that which is good, do that which is good, so shalt thou come to know the law. By no other way can it be comprehended. The knowledge of the law maketh the heart glad. It filleth the mind with joy, it destroyeth all sorrow. Suffering ceases for him who knows the law. Sin and grief and affliction leave him, and wheresoever he goes, peace follows him. Happy is he who has perceived the law, blessed is he who practises it. Divine is he who has become one with it. Come, thou that searchest, weary and almost hopeless, prostrate thyself in the dust of obedience, deny thyself to the uttermost, leave all that thou art proud of, yea, sacrifice all. So shalt thou put on the yoke of lowliness, and shalt thou enter into a knowledge of the law. Then shalt thou come to know the three names of the law of good. The first is justice, the second righteousness, the third love. Men, loving self, deny these lofty names, and having no knowledge of the law of good, wandering in the dark, they fall into treacherous places, and fear and doubt and sorrow and suffering dwell with them. Practise the inward righteousness, and thou shalt see the ineffable glory of the three names. Thou shalt comprehend the law of good, and bliss and peace shall fill thee. To know the law, to obey the law, to practise the law, this only is salvation, this only is emancipation from error and unrest. Supremely glorious is the law of good, supremely peace-giving is the knowledge of the law. Supremely blessed is he whose pilgrim feet walk in obedience with the law. He who says, I will no more cling to self, I will no more engage in strife, I will no more retaliate, I will no more judge and condemn. Hitherto I have clung to self, I have sought to gratify self, I have defended and protected myself. But now I will abandon self, I will sacrifice and not defend myself. Yea, utmost crucifixion shall be mine. I will love all men, and only myself will I condemn. The garment of humility shall cover me, righteousness and love shall be my protection, even in the highest will I take my refuge. Goodwill shall be my guide, compassion shall not depart from me, and the divine gentleness of truth shall guide my thoughts and actions. Thus will I cease from sin, thus will I practise the highest good. He who thus resolves shall know the law of good shall he comprehend. The fullness of its majesty shall be revealed to him, and from all evil shall he be protected. Therefore let a man believe in good, let him cling to good, let him practise good. He will thus come to comprehend himself. Comprehending himself, he will comprehend the universe. He will thus arrive at peace. When a man's body is defiled, does he not wash it and make it clean? When a man's heart is defiled, let him likewise wash it and be clean. 5 are the waters which wash away sin: purity, which washes away all indulgences and lusts; pity, which washes away all self-seeking and indifference; humility, which washes away all prejudice and pride; joy, which washes away all covetousness and envy; love, which washes away all hatred and condemnation. Whosoever will, let him come and be clean. The waters are ready and waiting. Blessed he is who is free from sin. He knows the supreme law of good, and dwells in peace. Thus is the law of good expounded, thus is it spread abroad in the hearts of men. Instruction concerning the Great Reality. To the awakened and enlightened, to those who seek to be awakened and enlightened, there is darkness and there is light, there is dreaming and there is waking, there is illusion and there is reality. The darkness apprehendeth not the light, the dreamer knoweth not his waking mind, and the wanderer in illusion is unacquainted with reality. Of two ways therefore one must be abandoned. The dweller in darkness seeth nothing, not even himself. His feet stumble, he knoweth not his way. Abandon darkness, and thou shalt come unto the light. Coming to the light, thou shalt see all things. Thou shalt know thy way, and thy feet shall cease from stumbling. The way of the dreamer is uncertain and painful. Pleasure and terror afflict him. He knoweth not where he standeth. He controlleth not himself, and is at the mercy of the unreal. Abandon the dreams of self, O thou that sleepest! Awake! Open thine eyes to the morning, and thou shalt comprehend thine own divinity. The walker in the way of illusion is surrounded with shadows, he perceiveth not the substance. Grasping at bubbles, he is scourged with grief and disappointment. Clinging to the perishable, he mourns, and following after that which vanishes, he is troubled with unrest. Abandon the pathway of illusion, the pathway of thy perishable self, so shalt thou find the imperishable truth. Gladness shall take the place of mourning, and thine eyes shall be opened to the glory of the Great Reality. What then is the Great Reality? The Great Reality is a stainless heart, an enlightened understanding, a soul whose perfect grace is not disturbed. By the practice of righteousness only can the Great Reality be known. He alone can perceive it who controls himself. He alone can enter it who purifies himself. He alone can abide therein who is free from all sin. In the Great Reality all religions and philosophies culminate. They meet here and then vanish away, for there is no division in the Great Reality. Strife and unrest cannot enter there, and he who comes to it is filled with peace. Thou who wouldst understand the Great Reality, thou who wouldst enter it and know its peace, seek the one behind the many, seek the silence behind the noise, seek truth behind self, seek for that which is holy and peace-giving, which abides, and does not pass away like the morning dew. Wisdom abides, love abides, compassion abides, truth abides. Therefore sacrifice self, for self and all the things of self are perishable, they belong to the unreal. Awake then out of thy dreaming, disperse all thy shadows, destroy all thine illusions, and thou shalt enter the Great Reality. Filled with peace, thou shalt dwell with the eternal harmonies. Filled with bliss, thou shalt sing the everlasting song, the song which thrills the spaces and the worlds. Thy song and mine thus shalt thou sing: I have made the acquaintance of the Master of Compassion, I have put on the garment of the perfect law, I have entered the realm of the Great Reality. Wandering is ended, for rest is accomplished. Pain and sorrow have ceased, for peace is entered into. Confusion is dissolved, for unity is made manifest. Error is vanquished, for truth is revealed. Blessed is he who has resolved to abandon self. Blessed is he who is pure. Blessed is he who has destroyed all his illusions. He has found the Great Reality at last. The universe is glad, for again the Master is revealed. The universe is glad, for again the law of good is expounded. The universe is glad, for again the Great Reality is comprehended. End of Part 3, Section 3, Instructions.